The Prophet ﷺ is born in the famous year of the elephant, and this leads us to the issue now of the date of his birth. When exactly was he born? Now, and this is the next discussion which will last us quite a while, because I believe that this is interesting to discuss and also has relevance to modern times. Now we have been told that the Prophet ﷺ was born on the 12th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal, and this is the commonly known date. Yet the fact of the matter is that our early historical textbooks mention a number of dates. And there is no unanimous agreed upon decision regarding the date of the Prophet ﷺ's birth. The Prophet ﷺ told us certain things that we know for sure. Of them, in the famous hadith of Sahih Muslim, that a man asked the Prophet ﷺ, why do you fast on Mondays? Why do you fast every Monday? He said, this was the day I was born on. And this was the day that revelation began to me. i.e. Iqra came down on Monday. So we know for a fact he was born on a Monday. Okay, that narrows down a day of the week. How about a year? Well, there are some narrations that mention the year as well. There's a beautiful narration in which Uthman ibn Affan asks one of the oldest Qurashis, and his name is Qubath ibn Ashyam, after the death of the Prophet ﷺ. He asks him, أَأَنْتَ أَكْبَرُ مِنْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ? Are you akbar? Meaning, what does akbar here mean? Older. أَنْتَ akbar, because he's an old man. But of course akbar also means bigger or grander, right? So Qubayth smiles and he goes, the Prophet ﷺ is akbar minni, but I am older than him. Asannu minhu. He changed the question because the question the question is alluding to the fact, are you bigger than the Prophet ﷺ? So he said, no, the Prophet ﷺ is bigger than me, but I am older than him. And asannu minhu. And then he says, the Prophet ﷺ was born Aam al-Fil. Aha, we have a year now. He was born in the year of the elephant. And as for me, I remember my mother taking me outside of Mecca as a child, and I saw the dried up green dung that the elephants had left. What does this show? What does this show? That he remembers the elephant's dung, which is basically the same year, the year of the elephants, right? And the Prophet ﷺ was born that year. So he's a little bit older than the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ is bigger than him. Al-Akbaru minhu. This hadith is narrated in Tirmidhi. So Qubayth therefore puts a date. Also we have somebody asked another Sahabi, Suwayd ibn Ghafla, about the Prophet ﷺ's birth, and he said, the Prophet ﷺ and I were both born the same year that we were born Aam al-Fil, the year of the elephant. So from both of these narrations, we can pretty much verify that the Prophet ﷺ was born in the year of the elephant. Even though there are some opinions he was born 10, 15, 20 years before after, but these are very minuscule minority. The bulk or the vast majority of early historians said he was born in the year of the elephant. We already said the Arabs did not have a calendar. We already said that they would have a calendar based upon events. The year of the drought, the year of the invasion, the year of the elephant. And then for the next 5, 10 years they would say 2 years after the year of the elephant, 3 years before the year, until something else big happened. And then they began something else, right? So this was their calendar system until Umar ibn al-Khattab came and said, we need a calendar. This is a part of civilization to have your calendar, right? We need a calendar. And then he made the Islamic Hijri calendar, which we follow to this day. So pretty much we are confirmed now 2 things. The year of the elephant and a Monday. Okay, what is the year of the elephant? Difficult to date because we don't have any type of chronicles of the Abyssinians and what they did, but by and large, piecing together various factors that are beyond the scope of this, majority of historians say this corresponds to 570 of the Christian era. 570 of the Christian era. 570 CE, the Prophet ﷺ was born. Now how about the day of the, so it's the year of the elephant, fine. How about the month and the day of the month? When we look at 2 of the earliest books ever written about the history of the Prophet ﷺ, we find differing accounts. The most famous book of history is of course Ibn Ishaq. We talked about it, the Seerah of Ibn Ishaq. Ibn Ishaq died 150 Hijrah. Ibn Ishaq says, without any chain of narrators, he's writing from himself, that the Prophet ﷺ was born on a Monday, the 12th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal, in the year of the elephant. So this explains why this opinion is present. He says very clearly that the Prophet ﷺ was born on a Monday, on the 12th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal, in the year of the elephant. However, between him and the Prophet ﷺ are almost 200 years, because remember, going back to the birth of the Prophet ﷺ is 53 before Hijrah. So between him and the birth of the Prophet ﷺ is 200 years. And he doesn't tell us where he gets it from, who's narrating this to him, what is the chain of narrators. When we look at the second earliest book, and this is called the Tabaqat of Ibn Sa'd, which was written around 220 or so Hijrah, the Tabaqat of Ibn Sa'd, the Tabaqat of Ibn Sa'd says that it is said that the Prophet ﷺ was born on a Monday. Some people say, I quote, he was born on the 10th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. Others say he was born on the 2nd of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. End quote. Two opinions, neither of which conform to the 12th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. Ibn Abbas, it is said, also said the 10th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. Ibn Kathir, the famous historian of Islam, Ibn Kathir in his Al-Bidāyah wa Nihāyah, says that the majority opinion is that the Prophet ﷺ was born in Rabīʿ al-Awwal, but others have other months as well. And then scholars differed with regards to the date of his birth. One group said he was born on the 2nd of Rabīʿ al-Awwal, numbered 2nd of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. Ibn Kathir says this was the opinion of Abu Ma'shar al-Sindi, a famous scholar of history, died 171. It was also the opinion of Ibn Abd al-Barr, a very famous scholar of Andalus, died 463. It was also the opinion of al-Wāqidi, who died 207. Al-Wāqidi is one of the most famous historians of early Islam. So we have three very early authorities saying he was born on the 2nd of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. Ibn Kathir goes on. Another opinion is that he was born on the 8th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. He says this is the opinion of Ibn Hazm, famous scholar of Andalus, Imam Malik ibn Anas, you all know Imam Malik, the scholar of Medina, and the opinion of Az-Zuhri, who is, again, I cannot explain how famous Az-Zuhri is, 128 Hijrah, and opinion of Muhammed ibn Jubayr ibn Mut'im, a number of famous people of the past, the 8th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. Ibn Kathir moves on. A third opinion is that he was born on the 10th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. So we have now 2nd, 8th and 10th. The 10th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. He says this is the opinion of Ibn Asakir and the opinion of Ja'far al-Sadiq. Who is Ja'far al-Sadiq? Cousin, no. He's the descendant of the Prophet ﷺ, and the Shia consider him to be one of the Imams. He's the 6th Imam for the Shia, but he's the descendant of the Prophet ﷺ. So one of the descendants of the Prophet ﷺ says that he was born on the 10th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. Ibn Kathir says the fourth opinion is that he was born on the 12th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal, and this is the opinion of Ibn Ishaq. But there is no isnad on this matter. In other words, there's no chain of narrators that mentions anything about the 12th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. Ibn Kathir does say that this is the most popular opinion in his time. Ibn Kathir died 770 something, way after. In medieval Islam, 12th Rabīʿ al-Awwal is the most popular opinion. And from medieval Islam up until our times is the most popular. But in early Islam it was not the most popular. The 5th opinion, the 17th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. The 6th opinion, the 22nd of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. The 7th opinion, he wasn't even born in Rabīʿ al-Awwal, he was born in Ramadan. And this is the opinion of Az-Zubayr ibn Bakkar, who was the first scholar to ever write a history on Makkah. And he died 256 Hijrah. And then there are other opinions as well. So, to summarize, there are over 10 opinions in the earliest books of Islam about the exact day that the Prophet ﷺ was born. None of them are, let's say, indisputable. None of them are clear-cut. None of them have solid evidence. All of them are the opinions of early authors and narrators. And to be very academic, the opinion of the 12th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal seems to have much less weight than the 2nd and the 8th and the 10th. Because these three have tabi'un taba tabi'un. They have descendants of the Prophet ﷺ. Whereas the opinion of the 12th, it is by Ibn Ishaq, who is 200 years after the birth of the Prophet ﷺ, and he doesn't have any chain. So if this is the case, Why then is the opinion of the 12th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal the most popular? So much so that for many of you it's shocking that I'm daring to go against this fact of history, right? This might be blasphemy to some of you, that how dare you? Why is it so popular? Very easy to respond. Point number one, Ibn Ishaq. I already mentioned that 90% of authors who write about seerah, they only rely on Ibn Ishaq. They just take Ibn Ishaq and summarize it, redo it, translate it, do this and that. That's what they do. And it's a good book, but it's not the only book. So because Ibn Ishaq is Ibn Ishaq, and because he says 12th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal, end of story. No questions asked, is going to be the 12th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. The second opinion, or the second reason why the 12th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal became so popular, is that, and this leads us to a controversial issue, but I don't shy away from controversy, as you all know, is that the first time that the Prophet's birthday was celebrated as a public event, i.e. the Mawlidun Nabi or the Miladun Nabi as we call it, the first time that it was celebrated, the authorities who celebrated it chose the 12th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal. And because they chose the 12th of Rabīʿ al-Awwal, now that's it. It just spread like wildfire. The day and the event and the custom.